All right, yeah, let's get right into it. We begin with new coronavirus numbers. The United States now exceeding 160,000 deaths. Since the pandemic began, America has reported nearly 4.9 million COVID-19 cases. We're keeping a close eye again on hotspots like Florida, where yesterday alone there were 8,000 new cases reported. And in Texas, which has reported at least 300 new deaths for the third consecutive day. California continues to grapple with a technical glitch in its COVID-19 tracking system. Officials say the disruption is impacting its response efforts statewide. Meanwhile, a new prediction from the University of Washington's Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation, the key COVID-19 model, suggests the number of deaths in America is expected to climb to nearly 300,000 by December 1st.
Lord.
This is a model the White House has used. This is a model a lot of people have looked at. Researchers claim, though, that if starting today, 95% of Americans wore masks when leaving their homes, that number of projected deaths would drop by more than 66,000. The report also predicts states might reimpose lockdown measures once the death rate reaches 8 per million. The model also assumes 50% of school districts in each state will opt for online instruction only for this upcoming school year. Joe, when that number crossed yesterday, it was staggering. You're talking about almost 300,000 deaths. We're just over 160,000 right now. So if that model plays out, and let's hope to God it doesn't, you're looking at half again what we've seen already.
Again, for people that haven't been covering this closely, been covering this modeling very closely, of course, it's bounced wildly back and forth. But this University of Washington Institute has been one that the White House has used time and again. Its estimates have actually been conservative more often than not. When I think the president quoted them saying that it might be 60,000, 70,000, not so many months ago. But Willie, again, this is the problem with the pandemic. Back when fools and political cranks and cult members were saying, oh, it's just like the flu. We're having the same number of people, get this, that had the flu. Health experts, doctors, scientists, epidemiologists, they all talked about how quickly, how exponentially pandemics like this spread. And so, of course, that's exactly what happened. I'll be honest with you. I was hoping that we would stay under 50,000 deaths in March. I didn't know that could happen, but that certainly was a great hope. But you notice, again, if you just follow it month by month by month by month, this spread so quickly. And you notice we're not having the University of Washington Institute telling people, hey, listen, if you stay in your home for the next 6 months, if you shut down your small business for the next 6 months, if you lock your children away and don't allow them to go to schools for the next 6 months, no. What do they talk about? They talk about wearing a mask. Again, it's fairly simple. I don't remember either in the founding documents or in the Federalist Papers or in the staging of Hamilton, either on Broadway or on Disney, now streaming on Disney Plus. Oh, but man, you should really look at Peacock. Peacock's awesome. There it is. There you go. I had to say that. Peacock's amazing. But I don't remember anybody talking about the right to kill yourself and others by not wearing a mask. And this whole idea, and I know it comes out of the whole Trump cult thing for people the extreme members of the Trump cult about not wearing masks. But this study says if we want to cut the number of deaths in America by how many, 50,000 or so, instead of 300,000 deaths, by December, we could have far less. Just wear a mask. And so, but the main thing to see with these numbers for those who still want to believe Donald Trump, that this is going to just magically go away, it's not. Look at the exponential growth of the deaths month by month by month by month. And what you see is a quickening pace. Instead of what Donald Trump's saying, that it's slowing down, that it's going, it's not. It's getting worse. More people are suffering. More people are dying. Now is the time. There's always the time to change your behavior, for all of us to change our behavior and take those precautions that could save your life and the life of your loved ones.
And even that number, Joe, that huge number, 295,000 in this estimate, again, let's hope that's on the high end of things, assumes a drastic change in our lives, which is to say half of the country's kids don't go back into school full time. The maddening part about this, and we'll get into it with our panel, is it didn't have to be this way. And that 50,000 number that you predicted and thought about way back when in March was a reasonable number. It was a terrible number, but it was a reasonable number. And now here we are talking about 300,000 deaths potentially.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.